Section 5, Chart of Accounts. We are going to be looking at our chart of accounts where we shall understand what our chart of accounts is, and then we shall see how we can add and manage accounts using our chart of accounts. So let's get into it. You have to open your QuickBooks, of course. But before we can actually see how the chart of accounts looks like or where it is placed, the chart of accounts is the heart of an accounting system. It's where all your transactions are being recorded and placed according to different categories. For example, your assets, current liabilities, and that. Maybe to make it a little bit softer, imagine you have a notebook, but you have been tracking all your incomes and expenses in this notebook on different pages. For example, in the first page, you have been tracking your cash in the bank. In the second page, you're tracking your income. And in the third page, you are tracking your expenses. This tracking of all your incomes and expenses and the cash in the bank in different pages is what the chart of accounts is. This is what the chart of accounts is actually comprised of. So you're recording all your transactions, but in different categories. Your expenses are in the categories of expenses, your income is in income. So the chart of accounts is basically just having all your transactions um, recorded in QuickBooks, but in the different categories that we are going to see. So to get your chart of accounts, you go to transactions, which is on the left panel of your QuickBooks. From the transaction, you can come and click on chart of accounts. Alternatively, you can also come to the top right corner of your screen for your QuickBooks, and then you click on the settings icon, which will draw you to your company and then to the chart of accounts. Now, the chart of accounts is like we already defined the chart of accounts and what it is. And by the way, it looks like this because we do not have any transactions and we're just new to utilizing our QuickBooks. So you can sort out your chart of accounts using the number, the name, the cash, the account type, the detail type, and all these. So as you can see, that's the chart of accounts. We have the different types of accounts. We have the cash and cash equivalents, current assets, fixed assets, non-current assets, current liabilities. All these are the different categories or account types that you can use for recording all your transactions. So the chart of accounts has over 250 accounts. However, companies that are a bit large and that use the advanced plan for QuickBooks Online are the ones that actually use over 250 accounts. Right now, we have about 70 accounts because of the version that we are using. But if you would like to increase them, you can also do that. There are certain accounts you can make inactive, but when you make these accounts inactive, it doesn't really affect your work because you can go back to the settings of your QuickBooks and bring them back to being active, and you can continue with recording of your transactions. Say for example, we are going to give a try and make one of these items inactive and see if it will actually make inactive, because there are certain accounts that don't actually go inactive, for example retained earnings. So let's try and make supplies inactive and see. So you come and click on this on this drop down right next to run report, and then you make inactive, and then we wait and see if it will be able to make it to deactivate it. So you deactivate it. As you can see, the account has now been deactivated. And like I said, these deactivations or making inactive of all these accounts does not affect your work in your QuickBooks and in your chart of accounts. So if you want to make them active again, I mentioned that you can QuickBooks Online has over 250 accounts. And if you want to make them active again and see if you want to prove me right, you can just come and click on the medium right corner of your screen for QuickBooks, and then you scroll down and see that from the settings that we have, you can sort your QuickBooks according to the number that we spoke about, that type, and you can also see that the page sizes are over 250 like we had said. So if you want to make active the inactive accounts that you had already included, you come and tick in the box for other, and you make these you make them you include the inactive accounts again. So once you include the inactive accounts again, they will come back and you're able to have all your you'll be able to have all your accounts back to what to your chart of accounts, which doesn't really affect your work. So we are back to our chart of accounts. So like we say that again, just a reminder that the chart of accounts is the heart of an accounting system. So um chart of accounts. So, and we say that we can also sort them according to the name, the number, the type of, the detailed type, the QuickBooks balance. One more thing before we can see how we can create accounts in our QuickBooks balance. In our chart of accounts, the QuickBooks balance has a starting balance right up here of zero point 0.0 US dollars. However, when you scroll down, there's also a balance that is down right here of zero. So from the share capital going up is what represents our balance sheet, and then from this income going down is what will look as what will represent as a statement of profit and loss. So if you want to create a new account, or if you want to add an account on your QuickBooks Online for in your chart of accounts, you will need to have the name and the type of the account, and then the detail type will be able to load on its own because it could be registered already in the system. So you can come and click on new. Once you click on new, you can come and select the account type, and then the detail type will be able to um to register itself. So you can come and name the account name. Maybe you can say you want to include a bank, and the account number could be 6363, and then select account type, which could be the cash and cash equivalents. So the opening balance, you can also include, let's say we have a 500. You can include that as an opening balance. And also the date, let's assume we are going to have as of 14th January 2025. So you come and save. And then you come back to your chart of accounts and see if it has been able to record. And as you can see here that our cash and cash equivalents, which is in a bank, first of all, has been recorded. Like we have been able to record a new transaction, and then we have an opening balance of 5,200. And like I said, it has to be balancing. So by now, we have an opening balance equity of 5,200, and then we also have the cash in bank of 5,200. If you'd want to add another account, you come back to new, and then you add another account in your QuickBooks, and then you will see how it will easily affect your you can easily see how it will affect your transactions. So the account name, we can use accounts receivable. I like to use capital letters. Maybe the account number is 5252. Select account type. So from there, you can also come and save your work. So once you save your work, you can come back to your chart of accounts and see whether the transaction has been recorded and how it and whether it's reflecting in your chart of accounts. As you can see here, we have our accounts receivable that is also appearing in our chart of accounts. Thank you so much for listening to me. in this particular video. I hope you've understood and you're able to break it down and move further with your tutorial, with your understanding of QuickBooks. Have a good day.